Good morning, students. In today's class, we will discuss about relevant costing. Now, what exactly do you mean by relevant cost? I will explain it with a very simple example. Now, suppose you are a businessman and you want to start a business of cutlets. That is, you want to sell cutlets. What are the expenses that you should consider in this process? This is what we are going to discuss. So as I said, why do we need relevant costing? Relevant costing is needed for decision making. Now, what was the decision that we were going to take? Whether to start a cutlet business or not start a cutlet business. Okay. So the features of relevant costs are, first feature, there should be a cash outflow. Only if there is a cash outflow can you take it as a relevant cost. I will give you an example wherein you will understand the exact meaning of this feature. Now, whenever you are doing a cutlet business, you need a delivery van. Okay. So this delivery van, if you already have a delivery van in your house, what is a cash outflow if it is an old delivery van? No cash outflow, right? But when you are bringing it into the business for accounting, if you have learned accounting, then we could claim depreciation on the cost of the asset. But the depreciation, though it is an expense, it is not a relevant cost. If you are buying a new delivery van, the cost of the new delivery van should be included as a relevant cost. So, the cost of the new delivery van will be included. The depreciation on the old delivery van will be excluded. That is the meaning of the first feature. In order to be considered as a relevant cost, there should be physical cash outflow. So that was point number one. Now the second feature. Second feature is it should be related to the future. I will give you a stunning example. Okay. Now for cutlets, what is the raw material that is used for cutlets? Potato, right? Okay. Now, you don't have potatoes with you and you have to buy potatoes from outside to start this new business. The cost of the new raw materials that you have to buy, that is definitely a relevant cost because it is something related to the future. Now, suppose you have a sack of potatoes in your godown, which you purchased by mistake, say 1 month back, and you don't know what to use it for. Okay. So that potato, which do not have any other use, you're taking it to the new business and using it. So is that related to the future? No, it is the old stock of raw materials that is lying in the ground without any use. So it is not related to the future. So the stock of potatoes lying in the godown without any other use is not a relevant cost because it is not related to the future. But if you are buying the potatoes from outside, then it is a relevant cost because it is related to the future. So cost of new raw materials will be included as relevant cost because it is related to the future. But if you have a sack of potatoes lying in your godown without any other use, then it is not a relevant cost. So cost of old raw materials in the factory with no other use will be excluded. That is, it is not a relevant cost. That was point number 2. So relevant cost should be related to the future. It should not be a past cost. It should not be a past cost. And another word for past cost, which is very important, is it should not be a sunk cost. It should not be a past cost or it should not be a sunk cost. Sunk cost and past cost means the same thing. So it should not be a past cost. It should be something which is related to the future. That was point number 2. Now the third and the last feature of relevant cost is it should be incremental. Incremental. What do you mean by incremental? Incremental means additional. To make you understand better, I will give an example. Suppose you have a driver. Okay, you already have a driver and you are planning to use the services of this existing driver for the new business that you are going to start. That is a cutlet business. So he will be in charge of the delivery. And you're not going to increase his salary. As such, you're paying him a monthly salary now, and the same salary will be continued even if he works in the cutlet business. Now, such kind of expenses will not be treated as a relevant cost. Now the second situation is if you don't have a driver. If you don't have a driver and if you have to recruit a new driver, then you will have to pay that person's salary. That was not an existing expense. That is a new expense that has been created just because of our decision to start this cutlet business. So the salary of the new driver will be treated as a relevant cost. So new driver salary will be included as part of relevant cost, and old driver salary, if it is an old driver, his salary will not be included as a relevant cost. So those are the three features of relevant costing. It should be a cash outflow, it should be related to the future, and it should be incremental or additional. Opportunity cost. This is also a very important concept. Let's see the definition. Revenue lost from the next best alternative. Now, regarding opportunity cost, continuing with the very same example that I told you, you are starting a cutlet business and you are planning to start it in a flat that you own. Now, if you do not start this cutlet business, then you will let out this flat for rent, which means that you will earn rental income if you do not start the cutlet business. So, if you start the cutlet business, you are going to lose the rental income. The rental income that you lose because of your decision to start the cutlet business is your opportunity cost. So what is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is the revenue lost from the next best alternative. Your best alternative was to start the cutlet business. Your next best alternative was to give the flat on rent. So because of your first decision of starting this cutlet business, you are losing the rental income. So opportunity cost is always a relevant cost. Now let's get back to the questions. We will do a problem. A company has employed a consultant to conduct an initial survey of a new project. So we have a new project and already a consultant has been employed. The initial survey has cost $40,000. So we have already incurred an amount of $40,000. Already incurred. What does that mean? It's a past cost. Another word for past cost is sunk cost. If the company decides to proceed with the project, the consultant will be compensated at $20,000 per annum. Now, if you're planning to start the project, then again we need the consultant services, for which that person will have to be remunerated at the rate of $20,000 per annum. So that's a future cost. This one is a past cost or a sunk cost, and this $20,000, that's a future cost. What relevant cost should be included in the first year when considering whether the project should be accepted? Option A, $0. Option B, $20,000. Option C, $40,000. And option D, $60,000. Relevant cost, what are the three features? It should be a cash outflow. It should be related to the future. And third one, it should be incremental. That is, it should be additional. It is not an existing expense. It is an additional expense. This $20,000, yes, it is related to the future. It is a cash outflow and it is differential and it is incremental. That is, it is an additional expense. It's not being incurred now. Only if you accept the project, you will need to incur that amount. So all the three conditions of relevant cost are satisfied. So the right answer is option B, $20,000. So we will have a quick recap of what we studied in the introductory class of relevant costing. Point number one, what are the features of relevant cost? First, there should be a cash outflow. That is, physically the cash should go out of your hands. Second feature, it should be related to the future. It should not be a past cost. It should not be a sunk cost. It should always be related to the future. Third point, it should be incremental. What do you mean by incremental? It should be an additional expense. Opportunity cost is the revenue lost from the next best alternative. So that's it for today. We will be continuing with relevant costing in the next class. So any doubts can be posted in the comments below. And if you have understood the concept of relevant cost, please click the subscribe and the like button. So meet you in the next class. Thank you.